For Jake Paul, this saga reminded him that fame can't control fate. As the ring lights dimmed and the cameras turned off, one truth echoed across the boxing world: even the strongest punch can't knock out your past. The fight that never happened became the story no one could forget. Jake Paul moves forward, but Gervonta Davis may never recover. In the end, it wasn't a knockout that ended the show. It was life itself. Networks hesitated. And Netflix, faced with its first major combat event, stepped back to protect its brand. What was supposed to be boxing's new chapter suddenly looked like its darkest hour. Then Jake Paul broke his silence. Just 2 words. God has a plan. Fans read between the lines. Some saw faith. Others saw strategy. Was Jake genuinely disappointed? Or had he just dodged a PR disaster? Commentators called him hypocritical, reminding the world that Jake himself had faced similar allegations years before. One journalist put it best: Jake Paul didn't cancel for morals, he canceled for optics. For Gervonta Davis, this wasn't the first fall from grace. But it might be the last. From Baltimore streets to global superstardom, Tank had fought his way to the top, but couldn't fight his own demons. Rumors spread that Ngannou had been offered the fight. Social media went wild. But Ngannou himself shut it down. "Don't disrespect me like that," he said with a cold stare. "This fight makes no sense. No amount of money changes that." His words hit harder than a right hook. And the internet finally fell silent. Desperate for a blockbuster, Jake's camp reportedly turned to the legend himself. Floyd "Money" Mayweather. The undefeated king. The man who once guided Tank Davis's career. But Mayweather laughed off the idea. "Too easy," he said. "Not happening." For a sport already hanging by a thread, it was another reminder that legacy can't be bought. While the internet debated replacements, Tank Davis's legal troubles grew deeper. Show after show, from ESPN to Ariel Helwani, analyzed the same question: was this the end for Tank? Sponsors backed away. But there was a problem. Each of them brought complications. Contracts, politics, and pride. Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, quickly stepped in with a blunt reality check: Ryan fights for DAZN. Jake fights on Netflix. That's business. That's law. And just like that, another option vanished. While Jake searched for an opponent, one man refused to stay quiet. Rolando "Raleigh" Romero, Tank's loudest rival, took to social media like a man possessed. "I'll slap Jake Paul across the face. I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff." He mocked Jake. He mocked Ryan. He mocked the whole circus. And for a brief moment, fans wondered, was this chaos the future of boxing? Then came the most shocking name of all. Francis Ngannou. The former UFC heavyweight champion. And one of the hardest punchers alive. Could Jake Paul really fight the Predator? Promoter Leonard Ellerbe, a name synonymous with the Mayweather era, publicly declared, "This situation has crossed a line." For Davis, it wasn't just another controversy. It was the end of a dream. And maybe, the end of his career. Jake Paul's promotion, Most Valuable Promotions, quickly issued a statement: "Our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this responsibly. While we will not move forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline on Netflix in 2025. It was official. The fight was dead. Fans who had bought tickets received refunds, but disappointment? That couldn't be refunded. For the sport of boxing, this was another painful reminder of how fragile hype can be. Jake Paul wasn't done. He was angry, but focused. As one door slammed shut, his team opened 5 more. The list of possible replacements read like a fantasy lineup: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz. In a world where fame meets fists, and ego meets destiny, one fight promised to shatter boundaries. Jake Paul, the YouTuber who became a boxer. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the knockout king of Baltimore. Their collision was meant to be the event of 2025. But before the bell could ever ring, everything fell apart. November 14, Miami, Florida. The stage was set. Netflix's first major boxing showcase. Most valuable promotions had pulled the strings, and the world was ready to watch chaos unfold. Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis, a spectacle that had promised millions of eyes, and possibly millions of dollars. But then, in the shadows of preparation, Gervonta Davis's world began to crumble. News broke like thunder. Baltimore boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis faces new allegations. The headlines spread faster than punches in the ring. An ex-girlfriend's claims. An arrest. And within hours, the fight of the decade was cancelled.